Hey collective, welcome back to the channel. So today is July 12th and I wanted to do a general reading based off of your current past, your present, and your future. So on yesterday I was perusing Instagram and I saw a post, and the post was something like, don't allow anyone to push you out of your spot. And I marinated on it for like maybe a good 24 hours. Like it was just stuck in my head and I was processing it over and over again. And as I thought about it and processed it, it made me think about, work relationships just in general. And oftentimes, as we work, as we're in our career, there may be people, naysayers, around who don't agree with the position that you're in. And what I mean by that is that there may be individuals that don't necessarily feel that you are the right person chosen for a specific job or role or team or group or, any of those things. And just the thought of not allowing someone to push you out of your spot makes me think of those naysayers. Like there's always someone or individuals who can bring some, what do you call it, disorientation to your role. Individuals who can try to make your position a little bit more harder than what it actually has to be or than what it actually is. You know what I'm saying? And so I wanted to kind of look over that, talk about that, get some advice from our spiritual guides as we go into the next week. Like, how do we deal with the people who tries to sabotage us and try to bring so much calamity where it would want us to walk away from the position that we're currently in, right? So we asked our spiritual ancestors, the Great Divine, the Holy Spirit, our angels, to come off into the room. We asked the Great Divine to guide this reading only in the way that he or she can. We asked the angels to provide wisdom, clarity, advice. And we looked to our holy ancestors, the Holy Spirit, to reject any negative energy, any negative thoughts, any negative understanding as we proceed with this reading. So, splitting the deck in half, we have the Tower and we have the Knight of Pentacles. So, the Tower is about sudden change, revelation, maybe an awakening, a release of something. And the Knight of Pentacles is showing, obviously, there's some hard work, that you're doing hard work, some productivity, some efficiency, and you're responsible as an individual as you move forward. You're showing that as the Knight of Pentacles. I'm not sure why the tower would have came up in this moment unless there's certain change at your job, like maybe there's a rift that's going on, or you're have taken on new responsibilities, or any of those two things. A lot of times you can take on new responsibilities, and of course, that's what we're talking about, the naysayers, the individuals who probably feel like if you were given a promotion, which was a sudden change in your life, maybe they're questioning if you were fit for it. But who are they, right? We always have to remember that no one has dominion over us. No one on this earth has dominion over us. So it doesn't matter what they say or what they feel. But are you taking the change hard? Are you questioning your capability? Those are the questions that I would ask just by looking at the tower, right? Is there something in your mind that's making you feel unsure about the work that you're doing and the work that you're planning to achieve, right? So we currently have your current past on the that has come out. So let's see what additional cards for your present and your future will potentially show up at this time. One more. And at the bottom of the deck, we have the Four of Swords, which is about, I don't know, meditation, contemplation, seeking some solitude, some renewal. So maybe you are truly processing the current role that you're in. And trying to reset, like trying to make sure that you're doing what's right while you're in the role. Like sometimes I feel like you can have naysayers when you go into a position that questions your role, that also has you doubting yourself. And if this is what this is, as the card at the bottom of the deck, I encourage you to not question what it is that you're doing, to be positive about your walk and your responsibilities within that role, right? Because again, you own your power, right? And I say that because we need to always remember to hone in on what the power that we have internally, and not allow what naysayers have to say to impact the way we think nor the way we feel. So keep that in mind as we continue this reading. So for your current past, the first card that came out was the Three of Wands. And I want to remind you all that the Three of Wands focuses on your actions, like moving forward, thinking forward, progressing in life, foresight, what we see, right? What we see going forward. And as you see with the Three of Wands, and I always say about the wands, is that each wand has leaves on it. So as you look forward in life, there's always an opportunity for growth. There's always an opportunity for flourishing, because the wands are sprouting leaves. And in this scenario, the individual is looking outward. He's not necessarily walking away from the wands that are behind him, but he is holding on to one wand, and he's thinking about the opportunities that he may have in the future, things that he can foresee, possible expansion, possible possible change, in preparation and progress towards that change. So keep that in mind as your current past, right? You were looking into your future as a direction to go. So the next card that we have is the Six of Wands in reverse. The Six of Wands in reverse talks about your lack of confidence, and that's probably why in the past, in your current past, why you were just kind of like sitting there thinking out about what it is that you can do better, how you can move forward, what next steps you should be able to take, and what those next steps look like, right? You may be concerned in your present lack of recognition, being unpopular, discredited. And again, this goes towards the naysayers, right? I guess this is a feeling that you could definitely have in this moment, in the present, especially if you're dealing with people who you feel like is trying to sabotage your position, who's trying to make you feel like you're not worthy or that you're not competent enough to do the role that you're in. I get the feeling of lack of confidence, but it's something that we have to kind of move beyond, right? Especially while we're in our roles. We can't allow what other people say to get so far off into our head to where we're questioning anything. And this makes me go back to the thought of your shadow card and you're in the rest position. Like you're really meditating on your feelings right now, because remember the swords is all about your thoughts, right? And the shadow card, the card at the bottom of the deck, is like your deepest your deepest fears, your deepest thoughts, your deepest emotions. So this is obviously have you dreading somehow, some way, where you're even questioning yourself, right? And that's not something that we want to do, is question ourselves as we move forward, while we're in this role, while we're in this position, while we're in this career, right? We want to be positive about the work that we're doing, the knowledge that we have, because we're in this position for a reason. We're where we're at for a reason. So don't question yourself so much. A lot of wands on the board. A lot of wands. Now you have the Nine of Wands. And your Nine of Wands upright talks about that courage that you need to dig deep within to get, right? And this is in the future, right? This is your future card. Your faith is still being tested, but you're a resilient person. You have to take time to create those boundaries, right? And that are good for you, even at work, right? Like if you're in a position where you're leading a team, or you're in a position where you've taken over a specific role, should nobody be stepping their feet into the role? Now, if they're providing advisement, that's one thing. Be willing to hear what someone has to say, or what someone is advice someone is trying to give you. But if you feel in your shanana while they're advising you, it's not advantageous for you to take the advice that they're giving, no one is saying that you have to, right? So create those boundaries, and continue to be persistent in the walk that you're walking, right? You see the guy with these Nine of Wands, and he looked like he's been through a beating, right? But he's stepping forward. He's coming out of it. And that's how I see this. He's stepping away from it. He has that, even if I have that one wand in my hand at this point, I'm feeling successful because all the rest of them are behind me, right? Keep that in mind. Keep that close to you as we gain some clarity of the read, because the read it's coming across pretty intense, pretty difficult. So whatever is going on in the workplace, it really has you feeling some kind of way. And feeling some doubt. And what I want you to stand on, again, this reading is about not allowing someone to push you out of your spot, right? If you're making any progress, because the wands are about actions, make actions towards you being successful, not allowing someone to bully you out of the position that you're currently in. Don't allow that to happen, right? So we're going to gain clarity of the entire reading. First card that popped out was the King of Wands. And the King of Wands is reminding you that you are a natural born leader, right? It's reminding you that you're exactly where you're supposed to be at. And no one should be able to push you out of your role, because this is your role, this is your responsibility. This is the path that someone allowed, that the great divine allowed you to be in. And you know, as they always say, as he always tells us, he's brought you here. He's brought you too far to let you go, right? And you need to keep that in mind. And I keep saying keep things in mind because, again, wands are forward movements. And now that the king has come out, it's showing you that your destiny is to be within this role. Let's split the deck. We have the Ace of Wands. Further confirmation of where you're supposed to be, right? And then we have the Three of Pentacles. And the Three of Pentacles is technically about teamwork, right? Now, you may be in a leadership position. The King of Wands is validating that. Or you work with several people, just in general. But at the end of the day, the Three of Wands the Ace of Wands along with the Three of Pentacles, to me, is confirmation of your role. That you're destined to be there. That you're destined to be off in that role. So don't allow what someone is saying, because this goes back to the dominion statement that I've just said. No one has dominion over you. No one, if you was put in that role, you was placed in that role for a reason, right? And no one, just because they're upset about you being in it, has the power of taking you out of it. I don't know if this, all right. We have another card flip over. We have two. The card at the bottom of the deck is the Six of Wands in reverse. Right? It's the same as we say in lack of confidence. I don't know why it came out in reverse, sweetheart, because we've already talked about it. Your lack of confidence is currently in your present. Right? We have the Death card, which means something is coming to an end. It don't necessarily have to be a horrible end, but something is coming to an end. And it may be the naysayer realizing that you really do have this under control. You really have this in the bag, because the Ace of Swords is now coming out, and it's pretty much saying that, you know, your thought process is there. You know what you're doing. You have this an understanding of the role that you're in. But then you have the Two of Swords that says that there's a crossroad, right? There's still a level of disagreement somewhere, somehow, right? And oftentimes it says to me that naysayers are always going to be around. Naysayers are always going to be there. They're going to exist. It's not something that you can control or something that you can stop. But it's something that you're going to have to learn how to guard your mind from, right? Protect your own thoughts, your own well-beings, not let people's words fester in your head, all those things. You know what I mean? Because oftentimes we can. We can hear what people have to say, and we'll sit there and marinate on it until those things become a reality. And it's not a reality for you. It's not the truth for you, right? So let's see what Repair Evolution has to offer us. What advice does Repair Evolution want to give us on this day? Thank you. High vibration and transformation. You have chosen to step into a high vibration that is in alignment with your soul path and your higher knowing. You now have the awareness that you are limitless and ready for transformation. Absolutely. Right? We've festered throughout this reading, right? We've festered and we've understood that whatever role we're in today, there's going to be some level of frustration off in that role, some level of disagreement off in that role. But I believe the high vibration transformation card is telling us that we have to know that just because people may be saying things or may feel a certain way or have something to say about it, we need to allow that to roll off our back, because what they're saying is not important, right? What they're saying is not important. What they're doing is not important. Ignore them, right? Let's see what the angels have to tell us on this day. What advice would the angels like to give in this moment? To help us with advice. What the angels like to tell us. Abundance. So the angels is telling us abundance is my essence, my foundation, and my being. The angels are telling you that you already possess the power to have everything you've ever dreamed of and more. When you cultivate true joy, love, peace, passion, purpose, and freedom inside yourself, you'll see these things reflected back in you, in your outside world. So, just looking at this card, you see the beautiful angel and you see the skies illuminating behind her, right? You own that power. And this goes back to me saying no one has dominion over you, because the power is within you, right? You control what happens to you versus what doesn't happen to you. So a person may have a lot to say, and the only way that person's words can activate anything within your being is if you allow it to do so. But you have so much power within you, so much so many resources where you're activated on much of a higher vibration. What they're saying can literally just bounce off of you. That's your shield, right? Right? The only way what they have to say can fester off in you is if you allow it to do so. Don't allow their words to penetrate your shield. Don't allow their words to penetrate your vibration. Do not allow their words to penetrate your power. So let's get final words to close out this reading. Final advice, final thoughts. Deep in the darkness. Ooh, too many. We just want one. Just want one. In a world that often seeks to diminish your worth, remember you are enough. Just as you are, your dreams are valid, your voice matters, and your actions have the power to shape the future. I'm going to say that one more time. In a world that often seeks to diminish your worth, remember you are enough, just as you are. Your dreams are valid, your voice matters, and your actions have the power to shape the future. Namaste.